Hello everybody, so this is my first project breakdown video that I'm going to make to tell you about the video you just saw. So I'm going to explain the process behind making the models. So this will skip a lot of basic things that you gotta know about Blender and modeling and stuff. So this breakdown is targeted towards the people who kind of know the basic things about Blender. The people who are beginners can still watch this video, but there will be a lot of things that you won't be able to understand, and that's all right. That you don't have to worry that much about it, because I'm probably going to make a playlist where you can do all the techniques and know about all the modifiers and all that stuff that I did. So I'm probably going to make a playlist, and I may make videos about that, or maybe just get videos that are already made. So first thing, before jumping into the video, the reference images. Make sure you have a lot of them in all the necessary angles that you need, because you have to make all the details in the model and carve every details in the model. So you gotta have good reference images of anything that you're making. So so let's jump right into the time lapse, and I'm going to explain about things. So you may see in this that I'm going back and forth in Blender and image files. This is because I only have one monitor, and it is a small monitor, so I can put everything side by side. But if you have multiple monitors, you must use the image files and Blender side by side. So this will be a good thing. So in modeling, first thing you should do is break all of the things in parts, so that it will be easier for you to model everything. So right now I'm just modeling this earphone, only the earpiece, and I'm just going to model that first, and then all of the things later. And the second thing that you need to understand is that you should try to simplify the model you want to make. For example, if you're making a speaker, you know that a speaker resembles a cube or a cuboid or something like that. So you should start from that simple shape and build from that. Alright. So here you can see that I'm making the earbud, and I'm trying. By the way, this video is super fast. I did like 20 times, 20x time lapse here. I don't know. I'm really new at this, so I don't know how much you should speed up. But I was seeing that if I would just put it on 5x or 6x, the video will be like 20 or 40 minutes long. So I didn't want to do that, so I sped it up a lot. So right now you can see that I'm trying to protrude things out. And by the way, I also used one add-on called Loop Tools. I'm going to put everything that I use in this video, and I'm going to put every modifiers and all the stuff I use. I'll try to put all of them in a playlist or in the description, so you would be able to know. So here you can see that I'm trying to make protrusions, and you're seeing me do all kinds of edge loops. That's because these edge loops are trying to help for the subdivision modifier that I use. So basically, subdivision modifier, if I be it a little simple, that subdivisions modifier makes things smoother, and it basically gives a lot of geometry. So you gotta use edges, edge loops to make edges sharp. So that's what I was doing a lot of times. And also you can see that I am going through a lot of problems, and this is all right. This is perfectly fine. I am pretty sure all the experts, even like, I don't know, Blender Guru or someone else, they also go through, problems. They also, try to model stuff, and and then figure out that whatever they were doing is basically wrong, so they do it over again. So if you're into that, if you catch yourself into that, you don't have to worry too much about it. It's all right. So here you can see that I'm trying to make the place from where the wire comes. So I did use a loop tool here, a loop tool add-on. It is very useful add-on. You can use it. A lot of things has circular holes and protrusions. So yeah, loop tools is very useful tool for you to use. Yeah, and a few things, a few techniques I learned from Josh Gambrill, which, if you don't know, Josh Gambrill is kind of like a legend in Blender, especially in hard surface modeling. So some of the techniques I, when I was making, the details in that neckband, I actually used his technique to make all those details. So you should also check out Josh Gambrill if you're into hard surface modeling. I'm still catching up on all of his stuff, but you should also check him out. So this is the part that I was talking about, like the cuts that I'm making from knife cuts, and trying to make all the details of this model. I learned that from Josh Gambrill. Alright, so and you will see in a little bit, when I was making wires of this model, I was confused, and because that's because there are several ways to make wires. Alright, so the problem is that when you I had in mind in the beginning, I had that in mind that I will use physics simulation in this, and it kind of made a lot of problems, because some of the ways you make wires doesn't give it enough mesh for it to do physics simulation. So I was making wires, and it was one of the problems that I actually faced, that when I was making wires, I got confused a little, because the physics simulation wasn't working. So I did a little bit of research, and I got to know that what I'm doing is wrong. I need to have more mesh. So I made the wires in a different way. Right now you're seeing that I'm making wires in one way. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to change this into another way, and I'll make this wire again. I think so. No, wait, this is actually this is just the neckband. So yeah, this didn't have any problem, because this isn't interacting with the physics simulation that I was doing. But anyway, I actually ended up scratching the idea of using physics simulation, so it wasn't a problem for me. So I could use all those wires that I was using before. And yeah, the thing is that making small details from model is fun and frustrating at the same time. And one more thing, you're seeing me here that I'm using Boolean. I was using Boolean modifiers. Be sure whenever you're moving your model, be sure to turn off Boolean modifier. Hide it. That's there's an icon. You just hide it so that it isn't using any Boolean modifier while you're moving it. because it is a problem for me. It was so laggy. Blender was so laggy. I actually have a small simple potato PC, so for me things lag even more, but I think it is going to be a problem in a lot of PCs. So yeah. And yeah, one more thing, that when you're making, for example, the buttons in this model, when you're making those small things, simple and small things, sometimes you can get away with just SVG files. So you can make SVG files in I don't know, Illustrator or Inkscape or whatever you can make SVG files in, and then use them in Blender and give it a thickness, and it will be easier for you to make some kind of shapes. So yeah, so right now I'm trying to put everything together, all the things that I made. I'm trying to put wires. Yeah, I actually had a little bit difficulty here because I didn't know the correct way to do it. I mean, I knew, but while I was doing that, I was confused a little bit, and I was using different ways to make all the wires together. And one more thing that I'm going to do is connect all of them, parent all of them together, so that whenever I move this earphone, it will be easier for me to move, because right now, if everything would not be parent, I wouldn't have problems moving everything. And you have to also apply scales and stuff, because while making parents and stuff, not applying scales would get you a lot of problems. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So right now, as you can see, I'm trying to put a physics simulation in it, and I was running into problems, and I actually said screw it, and I didn't do it. So now I'm going to the rendering and lighting. First thing is that learn the lighting. You should do courses or watch videos about lighting. It will help. Learning about lighting will make or break your scene, and set the mood for whatever you're going through. And knowing color theory helps a lot too, because otherwise you would just be you would just be playing with the colors all the time, and it will waste a lot of time. So also, although I didn't apply it here, but you should use surface imperfection and dirt and things like that to give a lot of realism in the scene, because in real life we do have surface imperfection and dirt and stuff like that, and if you don't give that to your models, your renders will seem like they are CGI, which they are, but you want to put them in the realism, right? So photorealistic things, right? So yeah, so that was the project breakdown of a neckband earphone that I made in Blender. And if you have any question, please ask me in the comments, and you can pinpoint any timestamp in the workflow that I showed you. And if you saw something that you thought that you knew but forgot, or anything, you can just ask me that, and I'm pretty sure that I will be able to explain that to you. And I'm going to make a playlist, like I said, or even make videos about things that you don't know or want to know. So I'll do that as well. So I'll do that. Why am I rambling so much? Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Till next time, or whatever.